Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Thank you for joining me today, ladies and gentlemen. We have a special guest with us, head coach of Immanuel Quickley in high school, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Martin. We're going to have a nice discussion about IQ, his development, all of this on the eve of training camp, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, let's bring it on over. We got Josh, we got Steph, and of course, we got Coach Martin with us. Coach, it's my honor to be able to interview you. You have an esteemed resume. Currently the head coach at Cape Fear Academy in Wilmington, North Carolina, I believe that is. You spent 11 years at the John Carroll School. You took the program from 0-35 the season before and, kind of drove them up to historical heights. And I'm really interested in picking your brain because I'm currently coaching a girls program that, hasn't been that good, and we're trying to rebuild. So, I'd really like to pick your brain about that, maybe off the air. You've been nationally ranked by USA Today, ESPN Rise, Prep Nation. Coach, welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Hey, I appreciate the kind introduction. I'm a new Knicks fan.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I bet. Let's dive right into it. The first thing I wanted to talk to you about quickly and just his personality, because he seems to have this infectious personality when we see him on the court. We seen him on the court with Lou Williams, and he, shook his hand and said, you're one of my favorite players and things. He just has this personality that kind of attracts people, I think. Was he the same way in high school?
Hey, again, we'll work together with a little bit of reception issues, but I think I got that. IQ has been born and bred to be the guy that he is and he's growing to be. His family is phenomenal, as you know. His mom, Latrice, and, just his grandparents, everybody, there's just, they're like a one-person cheering section. They saw it at Kentucky. We saw it at John Carroll, so I know that's rubbed off on him. He's an interesting kid because of the foundational background with his family and obviously the religious background. I'm much more interested probably in having him up for Bible study in the morning than getting in the gym. And that gave him obviously a lot of strength of character. But at the end of the day, he's a gym rat. He leads by example. And when he came into our program, we had already, reached all the accolades a high school could be. I mean, we were mixing and mingling with the Oak Hills, the Lalamirs, the Montforts. We were in all the events. And so he came into a program that had 2 Division I senior backcourt mates. And so as a freshman, he got to groom and grow with them. And we made a nice run, and we won the regular season. And I invited all the families into the locker room after the game. And I told him right then and there, I said, going to your sophomore year, I'm giving you the keys to the car for this national program. His family was excited about that. He had an incredibly special sophomore year. And I really think that was kind of the beginning of something special. And then you look at the sophomore year he had at Kentucky. Now he's getting ready to go into his sophomore campaign with New York. And great things.
Yeah, I think you kind of answered a question that I had about when you realized that he was special. So it was kind of apparent that, right after that season, you knew that he was the guy. He went on to be the All-Metro Player of the Year.
He did. And obviously, that league, has produced a lot of players over the years. Carmelo played in that league. Rudy Gay played in that league. It's a historic league, probably the second or third best in the country. Mm-hmm. And he, stepped up as a freshman big time. And his sophomore year, there was a run there in the Alhambra Catholic Invitational Tournament where he went against Anthony Cowan, who was a 4-year point guard starter at Maryland, Chris Likes, starting point guard from a freshman year at Miami, and then Markelle Fultz, obviously in the league. And he had 2 game-winning shots, and we came a hair's away from beating powerful DeMatha in that tournament. So we definitely knew he was special very early on.
How did he fare? Because we know Markelle Fultz went on to be, at one point he was looked at. He was gonna change the franchise. How did he fare against Markelle Fultz when he matched up against him?
He fared very well. At the end of the day, those guys were seniors, and they were, for high school ball, they were grown men. And, he was this gangly, thin, still not the biggest guy in town, but his heart, his toughness, he plays like a 40-year-old man. He's just a step ahead of everybody. He's only scratching the surface what he's doing. It takes a lot of things to fall into place to be special at that level. So a lot of things still need to go his way. But I'm telling you, the intangibles are off the charts. And I saw it firsthand.
Yeah, that was my question. Did he play point guard for you during that freshman and sophomore season? And do you think he can play it in the NBA? That's a big question. Kimber's on the team, Rose is on the team, and both of those kind of have an injury history. And, the next person up, in my opinion, would be Quickley over McBride, who's a rookie, and over Bildoza, international player who we haven't seen. So has he played that in high school, and do you think he can play that position in the NBA?
Yeah, he did. He played on and off the ball, pretty similar. I think, the true point guards sort of, maybe not as much as centers, are a bit of a thing of the past. Some of these guys are combo guards or scoring guards. They make plays with the ball in their hand, and obviously has had a tremendous knack to get to the foul line.
Right.
The last shot he took and made for me was a pump fake against the defensive player of the year in the Baltimore Catholic League, and a slide dribble and a three at the buzzer to win championship. So, he's got that knack to make plays, and when you have a good player, you're going to play him off the ball as well. But obviously in the NBA, for him to thrive and, be a double-digit, decade-plus player, he's going to have to do that. And I think because he's so cerebral, that he's going to be able to make that full-time transition if that's what they want. But obviously, Tibbs has got some veterans there. I saw Derrick Rose play in high school. It's a tough dude.
I'm still a person that thinks you need to have a point guard that can be, cerebral about the game, understand the game, and be able to direct traffic on the floor, as well as score, especially today, right? As well as score. Is that something you think Quickley can? I mean, did he do that for you? Like really direct the game? And can he grow into that as an NBA player?
Absolutely. I tell these guys, they're coming into high school, I'm like, hey, you get to college, you got, guys that played 5-6 years, transferred in high school, they redshirted in college. You're stepping in at 18, 19 years old. You got to tell 24-year-old grown men what to do. So obviously, you transition that up to the next level. Now he's got 30-something grown men professionals that have been doing it for a long time. I think he's built and wired to be able to do that. He's got a supreme confidence. I mean, I think that really is a superpower. But, egos and confidence are such a fragile thing. Shooting is such a fragile thing. So, at the end of the day, again, he needs some things to go right to continue to build on those building blocks. But I do think he has enough depth of character, enough people around him that, he's going to be a decade-plus player for somebody and play that point guard spot. But, like anybody, it may take, that third year, that fourth year. So you got to be a bit realistic with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Is there anything that we see from Quickley right now in the NBA that you can say, yep, this is what we worked on? Yeah,
I preface it with this, man. These guys, they have entire teams around them. He's had a lot of individual trainers. He's obviously got some mentors. They've got kind of the best they can be as professionals. So, I'm one piece to the puzzle. I'm an old school piece. I mean, I was hard on him from the jump. I didn't play. I think that toughened him up. A lot of times in the AU world, the training world, they're catering to you. They're telling you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear. And I never want to enable a kid by telling him what, he wants to hear. So I remember in that Markelle Fultz game, just, I can't say too much online here, but, you better play some blankety blank defense, which ironically, by the time he got to Kentucky and, sat down a little bit, realized I better get on the floor, take charges, do all the things that we taught. But, that runner that he has, I mean, we worked on that. Right foot, right hand, left hand, 2 foot. No one person can take that credit except Immanuel Quickley. But that's something we work on in our skill package, and it's really cool to see it in the league. I tell guys all the time that that floater is the most important shot for a guard. You never want that floater to be short. You want it to be long, so your big's got a chance to get in there and get on, soft offensive rebound, things like that. So, we emphasize that a lot.
And we've seen IQ's floater game last season during the pick and roll. And obviously the pick and roll is the oldest play in the NBA. It's the most common run play in the NBA. What are some ways that you think that other ways that Thibodeau can use Immanuel Quickley? And how do you think it can fit schematically on the Knicks right now?
Yeah, the NBA game is so different, from high school and college. I coached a little Division I. I watch as a fan, but I'm so immersed in my team and what we're trying to do here at this level that, it'd be a little bit tough to kind of, know the exact schematics of what Tibbs is doing. I know that, he's a guy that believes in veterans. His trust level in younger players is something that evolves. And so at the end of the day, I think IQ's just got to maximize his opportunities when they come and build on that confidence. But schematically, not evading the question, but, just don't know enough about how the Knicks are running their stuff to really give you an accurate answer, just being fair.
Thanks, Coach. No problem.
Yeah.
That's good.
Good question, though.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at the Knicks roster, there's so many ways. I don't know, how much you follow the Knicks. Well, you said you're a new Knicks fan now, right? But I don't know how much you follow, all of their draft picks and all of the players that they've signed. And, they can open up that offense now, like really open it up. And I think because of the spacing that they have on the floor, IQ might be, even more dangerous this season. But like I said, there's a lot of guards there.
Well, he's definitely been working on his range.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, I'll be honest.
He's working on range a lot, this offseason.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Coach. There were times last year when I was going crazy because he was pulling it up from the logo. I was like, what is he doing? But, then it splash, it goes in, but he had me going crazy sometimes.
Yeah. He's trying to be in that handful of guys, Trae Young and Steph Curry, making that a weapon. So obviously, that's something he's going to have to continue to develop. So I see that coming.
But from your point of view, how do you feel Immanuel Quickley has matured from playing in high school to going to Kentucky and now currently on the Knicks? Like, how would you describe some of the things that he's definitely improved on since that time back then?
Yeah, well, first thing I like is the fact that he went to Kentucky and the fact that he was willing to go away from home. I've coached some other guys, some kids that stayed home. The parents wanted to be able to see every game in the backyard, so on and so forth. Obviously, there was some talk about him staying at Maryland. I'm a Maryland alum. I never really get heavily involved in that whole recruiting process. I've had well over 100 guys. I've had the number one player in the country before, blah, blah, blah. I kind of let, the AAU people, the families, I offer advice where I can get. But just the fact that, he went away that far away from home to get that growth and that maturity and going through the trials and tribulations of his freshman year at Kentucky, things just didn't happen easily. His junior and senior years at John Carroll, he started to develop that personality. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's come from a pretty conservative background. When he was he got a little moon cut, like in his hairline, like a really minor little thing, but that was so off, the conservative route that, I think he took some heat for that, even within his own family. Mm-hmm. But to see his personality grow, his fashion style, all these things that these young guys get into, you can tell he's starting to feel himself and hopefully, he stays, down that straight path, because I do see him maturing, quite a bit since I've known him.
Yeah, Coach, I'm very high on Quickley, and some of the things that you've said so far pretty much confirmed what I've been thinking all along, and that this is a highly confident guy. Sometimes the fans will get on him for pulling up from the logo. They think it's a bad shot. But for a guy with high confidence, they think they can make that shot. That's not a hard shot. That's well within my range. So I always like that about him. I always liked his work ethic as well. Just a guy that works really hard. But one of the things I noticed is that he was one of the guys that his game developed in season. Like a lot of times you'll see in the off season, somebody will add something to their game, come back the next year. But in the season, I saw him obviously extend his range, and he had the long floater, but I saw the mid range as well. And I saw him, after a while, fake, go all the way to the basket, finish high off the glass over the bigs. So did he always have that in his game, and he just felt more confident to show it? And secondly, was he always really quick on the uptake, meaning being able to learn something really quickly and put it into practice?
Hey, Steph, I think you're right on the money. Okay, this kid, and I've worked with a lot of NBA trainers. I've worked with a number of NBA guys. I won't name names. It will all be in the retirement book. But there's some really talented guys that really didn't like to work very hard, and IQ, in season, he knew every janitor. He was in there early. He was in there late. He would get, they lived 45 minutes from the school, get home, eat dinner, and then drive back with the janitor just to get into the gym. So he's had all those things, and we talk about that, man. Get that thing high off the glass, kiss it softly. So, yeah, he's had all that more. I saw that happen with his freshman and sophomore years. They played completely differently than in their junior and senior year. They came in with a coach who was going to press and trap, rip, and run. And you score, I score. Everybody gets a bunch of fake statistics. Ain't nobody guarding anybody. I'm a guy that, coached against the number one team in the country multiple times and held them to career lows, season lows. Our game plans were as detailed as you can possibly get at Division I. You're talking about 16-page typed color photos. We knew, what you ate, onion rings and for lunch. So he's a guy that's worked hard in season. He's been taught defense. He's had his ass busted by an old school coach. He can handle Tibbs. If he stays with the Knicks, then, hey, that would be phenomenal. But somebody, and you see some of these guys, they end up at a second or third team. Hope that doesn't happen for the Knicks or IQ, but he's going to flourish, man. He's going to be a flat-out player when it's all said and done.
I agree.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Do you see a player in the league or who has been in the league where you say, you know what, that is IQ? A lot of people look at Lou Williams and say, this is who Immanuel Quickley is.
I'm a student of the game, and I like a lot of the old school guys. And he's a long, lanky guy, but he's not long and lanky like Gervin. But I don't think anyone really right now has the same skill set. I think he's a unique individual, and I think the things he brings to the table because of how efficient he is at the foul line, how he can get the foul line, how he can move into different positions, how well he picks the game up. I think they're just obviously so many more physically gifted guys. I had Josh Selby. He was number one player. He was ahead of Kyrie Irving. Physically gifted, really could shoot it great, didn't last in the league. But, there are a lot of intangibles to that. But I think IQ just has some of the unique, again, intangibles that a lot of kids that have had more physical talent don't have. And I think he's an acquired taste, maybe like a fine wine. I think he's going to get better and better and better. And I don't know if there's an exact player currently that I think is similar to him.
Think he can be an all-star?
I do. Without hesitation, I do.
Yeah, that'd be lovely. We would love to have him be an all-star for the New York Knicks, man. We would love to have him be an all-star for the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
Coach, it's funny.
But, it's the same thing. You look at the NFL right now, and the NFL drafted 5 incredible rookie quarterbacks, and one's getting his brains beat out. I think it might be with the Jets. Don't hold me to that. And some of the other guys are sitting behind, I think, the game last night. One of the guys on the 49ers sitting behind Garoppolo, So it's that timing. It's so important, because confidence is so important, And again, do they have enough patience to, there's contracts, there's cap, there's lots of variables, but, I just see him in that sort of year, 3, 4, 5, 6, just taking off. And does everybody have the patience, man? You guys got a lot of veterans, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Can I say something real quick? Coach, when you said he's an acquired taste, you're right. The first few games I saw Quickley, I was like, Quick is just he's a bit too erratic for me. Maybe about the 15th game or something, I was like, this guy is going to be really, really good. And I know the Knicks are looking to add to the roster and they're looking for a superstar, and I know some fans may disagree, Quickley is not somebody that I would put in a trade. I mean, I would hold on to him the last possible minute because I think he's going to be really good. I think he's going to be better than Lou Williams because of his ability to get other people involved and to get to the line and hit the foul shot. I just think he's a more dynamic player.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said there, and I think you're again right on the money. But it's a business, and
it's a business.
They all find out sooner or later.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, I got another question. You know, I know you coached him freshman, sophomore year. For the most part, when you coached Immanuel Quickley, did you let him play within the flow of the offense, or did you let him kind of, come into his own and kind of not necessarily do his own thing, or just like let him be himself, so to speak?
Yeah, I'm probably accused of controlling things a little too much. Like I said, and I think probably Tibbs is like that. So, we run our pro sets. I mean, we ran dribble drive. We did 4 out, 1 in, 3 out, 2 in, 5 out. We did, pro sets. We did, ball screen action. We did it all. So he had, flex. He knew everything. He knew every terminology, and he picked it up well. But I probably controlled things more than and kind of let him go. But then in the AU world, man, they rip and run through whatever the hell they want. It doesn't matter.
Right. Exactly.
So you get a little bit of both flavors there. So if they open up the offense and they let him roll with it, I guarantee he'll flourish with it. But he can handle Tibbs and stay in the box if that's what he wants.
Yeah.
Got you. Did his shot selection bother you at times, or was there any point where you kind of questioned his shot selection?
Yeah, I've learned over time that there are some things you got to do and let guys go from that standpoint. And again, he's not the straw that stirs the drink there yet, right? But, if you get to that point, you got to live with some things. And kudos to him that he's stepping outside to do those things. Even if a fan boos or, if the coaching staff maybe scratches their head a little bit, if a guy's got that in him, then, there's something there,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yep.
And I think
there were a couple times, Yeah. A couple times I questioned it.
I think Knicks fans and maybe even the coaches now, just kind of know. Now, they kind of know, okay, this is what IQ does. And in order for him to be successful, we got to let him play his game, especially with having Kenny Payne on the staff.
Coaches by nature are control freaks anyway. So,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. That's what I don't know. I mean, I think Steph has been has coached a little bit too.
But more than that, coaches want to win.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
All the time.
Right.
Yeah. And you're right. When you have a good one, I had a point guard. She was really good. And I was like, why are you dribbling through like 3 or 4 players? But she didn't see it that way. Those other 2 players were on the other side of the court, so they're automatically out. And once I get past this person right here, I only got 1 to beat. They see the game very different when you have somebody that's special.
On the money, I think that, kids, and I call them kids even though they're grown men, but that's the coach in me, young men that see the game at a different level, kind of like the Matrix. I think that IQ has that special quality. Got to let that grow.
I'm going to be running late, but I love being able to pick your brain and learn from you though. But I was asking you about, how you, took a team that was 0-35 and then, built the powerhouse.
Yeah, I was saying that I was fortunate that I cut my teeth from the winningest coach in Baltimore City history. Guy that had some pretty unique experiences. Had a chance to work with Michael Jordan and Patrick Ewing, my mentor, not me. And we had a point guard, Steve Wojciechowski. I don't know if you remember that name, played at Duke. Wojo came after Bobby Hurley. So I really learned about culture and learned about toughness. And every step that I've had, I've been fortunate to win and to build. The Spalding program before that had Rudy Gay. They were 3-17 before I came in the lowest league. Within 2 years, we were nationally ranked in USA Today. So happy to share those thoughts, off the air or, at another podcast when we have better reception. But I will say that I've had probably 15 Division I point guards, Duke, Kansas, Villanova, Cincinnati, Kansas State, you name it, and just kind of help all Knicks fans understand. I believe that IQ could be that point guard.
Nice.
That's what we want.
Nice.
That's exactly what we want. Coach, we thank you for your time. We would love to have you back anytime.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anytime.
We're gonna get better reception, man.
Yeah.
You're fun people, man.
Yeah.
I'd love to come back and talk, and you just let me know when. I'll make sure I got better reception.
But Coach, I appreciate your
That's good.
time.
Sim, Steph, Josh,
Appreciate you.
y'all.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
All
it.
right.
Hey, man, if I can help in any way, have a great season.
Okay. Thank
All right.
you.
Yes, thank
Enjoy,
you.
guys.
You too.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Really quick, before we get out of here, any thoughts from what you heard? He said IQ can be an all-star. He said he thinks IQ is that point guard for the New York Knicks. Any thoughts, Steph? Then I'll go to Josh, and then we'll roll.
Yeah, I agree. He confirmed a lot of things that I was already thinking about IQ, and especially the way the point guard position is played in the NBA right now. I think IQ is perfect for it, and he's a worker. So I agree with him. He may not be here now year 2, but by year 3, year 4, he's going to grow into that position. I believe he can be a point guard.
Josh?
Yeah, just absolutely refreshing to hear from a coach who actually coached Immanuel Quickley. He obviously knows a little bit more about Immanuel Quickley and his tendencies and the stuff that he did when he was in high school and his maturation to the NBA now. And like I said earlier, we've seen Immanuel Quickley mature very quickly last season, no pun intended. And this season we're going to see him do a little bit more. So just a great interview, and I'm glad to have asked him some questions. So,
Yeah,
I was awesome.
yeah, no
It
doubt
was
about
awesome.
it. It was, definitely. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your time. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you subscribe right now. Ring that notification bell, and you'll be notified anytime I go live, drop a video, or post in my community section. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We got more coming. We're kicking off training camp. Got a lot of stuff to talk about soon, ladies and gentlemen. We out. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.